Hello, and welcome back to the channel.
If you're planning a trip to Miami and South Florida, you're in the right place.
We spent 4 amazing years living in Miami Beach, having a ton of visitors and discovering all the best spots to explore. So today we're going to share absolute must-visit places to make your trip to Miami unforgettable.
From epic water activities to the coolest neighborhoods, hidden gems, nature escapes, shopping hotspots, restaurants, and of course, our favorite beaches, we're covering it all.
Plus, we'll give you some insider tips and tricks to help you experience Miami like a local.
So grab your sunglasses and get ready for the ultimate Miami adventure. Welcome to World Wanderers.
We're Alicia and Will.
Come wander the world with us. If you're flying into Miami, we'd recommend either the Miami International Airport or the Fort Lauderdale International Airport. They're about 30 to 40 minutes apart, so either one is really an option depending on flight prices and where you're coming from.
Yeah, and it also depends on where you're staying, if prices are equivalent. If you're further north, Fort Lauderdale will probably be better for you. If you're further south, like say South Beach or the Brickell area, then Miami Airport is probably going to be better for you. That 30 to 40 minutes is without traffic, and bear in mind, traffic can get real heavy real fast.
Right. And then that brings us to how to get around. So we recommend renting a car if you're going to be trying to hit all the sites all over the place. South Florida has a lot of traffic and things are pretty spread out. So Uber fees and ride sharing services will really add up if you're trying to go all over the place. But that being said, parking fees are also very expensive. So if you plan on just staying at your hotel or maybe like going to restaurants and stuff in the local area you're staying, then we definitely would recommend just Ubering because the hotel parking, beach parking, downtown parking is really going to add up.
Yeah, another thing to consider is the tolls and the traffic in Miami. If you don't know the area, there's no way you're going to avoid the tolls.
And even if you
Yeah.
do, like we've moved away now and I still go back to Miami for work once a month and I've accidentally driven through tolls that I was trying so hard to avoid. So if you are renting a car, there's always that toll option where you can get a like sun pass for a daily price that you should just pay for it out of pocket right away because they're very easy to get through. And if you're trying to avoid tolls, a 40-minute drive is going to end up taking you like an hour and 10 minutes. So just beware of that.
Yeah, and talking about that 40-minute drive taking longer, traffic in Miami has built up a lot in the past 4 or 5 years as a lot of people have moved into the area. So definitely try to plan and avoid those high traffic times for whenever you're going to go somewhere.
Right. And drivers in Miami are super crazy. It's kind of a melting pot of the world. So you have a lot of international drivers who, maybe come from countries where like a red light doesn't necessarily mean you need to stop, or a lot of unregistered cars and people
Yeah.
without driver's license. So it's definitely one of the most difficult places we've ever lived or been in the US to drive in. So just beware of that. So as far as where you want to stay, there's a bunch of different options, which is going to depend on what you want out of your trip. South Beach is probably a really good popular option that we do like, and it kind of has that party atmosphere. You have the beautiful beaches, you're close to downtown, but also it's more of a like vacation kind of area.
If you're looking for something that's like that same super nice beach and super nice water, you can go a little further north along that Miami Beach Island and get up into Surfside and North Beach, or even where we lived in Sunny Isles, which is a lot more laid back and family oriented, and it's not quite the big party-ish crowd.
Right. They have big hotels, but they have tons of high rises up that way too, which are really popular for Airbnbs and vacation rentals. So definitely a good place to stay if you're not trying to go downtown every single day. And then there's also Brickell, which is kind of that downtown Miami area. You're not getting the beach there, but you're definitely getting the nightlife and the restaurants. And if you're trying to go to like a Miami Heat game or something, or the museums, that's a good place to stay if you don't care about the water.
Now, the water activities was more my thing. Like I love pretty much anything to do out on or in the water. So like you can rent a boat downtown, which is a great group activity, with or without a captain take you around. If you have your boating license, you can get them without a captain and take her out yourself.
Right. It's super popular amongst like
Yeah.
bachelorette parties and stuff because you can bring your own food and drinks. And then go by the skyline, which is really pretty downtown, and they'll take you to like swim in the bay, or stop by the little islands in the bay, which is super nice. We did this with a group when our aunt and cousins
Mhm.
came down, and we had such a good time. It was pretty pricey though, so it depends on your budget. Luckily, she treated us, but we had a great day.
Yeah. And I would say most people probably do get the boat captain and a crew member just because they know like all the little there's tons of islands and stuff in the bay, and they know like where to take you and where to tie up, and it can be definitely worth it to get the captain.
Right? And then if you're trying to see the same kind of things on a slightly lower budget, there's like Star Isle Bay cruises, which are super fun. You can find them on Groupon for about $25 per person, and it's like super cheap comparatively, easy to schedule. You just show up at the Bayside Marketplace, which is another cute area with like a Ferris
Mm-hmm.
wheel and a bunch of restaurants and shopping. Basically, just a good place to hang out and spend an afternoon. So that's a fun activity too, where we've brought guests with us to like go see all the mansions, and they narrate and point out who's everybody's houses along the way. Super fun.
Yeah, we actually really did like the Bayside Market when we were there, for all the little shops and stands and ice cream stands and restaurants. The only thing to bear in mind with Bayside Market is if there's an event going on at the stadium, which is like right next door, um, whenever people are being let out of the stadium, it could take you an hour plus to get out of that parking garage. So that's something to like keep in mind for your planning.
As far as other water activities, we really enjoy kayaking in Oleta State Park. So if that's something you're interested in, you absolutely need to check out Raccoon Island.
Yeah, this one's my favorite. I love raccoons in general. I think they're like super cool little animals. The ones on Raccoon Island, it's also called like Sandspur Island or Beer Can Island, which is I don't know, maybe a 500 or 600 yard paddle off of like the point of Oleta State Park. They're super friendly. Like they'll come right up and eat out of your hand. Surprisingly, they actually really love fresh water. So if you bring like bottled water in a little dish and pour it for them, they'll just have like a day with it.
Yeah, but they're really friendly, and you can go right up to them. It's a super popular thing to do in the
Mm-hmm.
summer. And when the water's nice, just make sure to bring bug spray as well, because there's definitely bugs on that island. As far as favorite beaches of ours, obviously we talked about South Beach already, which is the super famous one. It's super loud and has that party atmosphere, and there's a lot of restaurants and shops to explore within walking distance. So if you're like younger maybe or into that kind of thing, it's a super fun destination.
It's also where you're going to see a lot of the tourists from like all over the world go to South Beach because it is that famous spot for everybody to go to. So it still does have like a nice cosmopolitan feel to it as well.
Right. If you're looking for something a little bit more laid back and natural, then we'd recommend Key Biscayne.
For sure.
It also has one of the most photogenic lighthouses in all of Florida, so that's a super popular place to go as well. And that's kind of closer to that downtown area. So if you are staying in the like Miami downtown area, that's an easy one to get to.
Yeah, even from South Beach, it's not bad. And the route to get there usually doesn't get too involved in the rush hour type traffic. So it's a little more like easy and even throughout the week.
Right. And then our personal favorite is Haulover State Park. It's a huge beach, which is like a mile and a half long. There's tons of parking, showers, and then it basically has something for everybody. There's a normal portion of the beach where you can rent chairs and they have food, or then there's like a dog part of the beach. And then there's also a clothing optional section, which is kind of like
Yeah,
all the way down at one end.
the whole north end is the clothing optional section. Yeah, and if it bothers you, you can easily go around it. There's trails to go right around it.
And
But
there's signs warning you too, but
yeah,
it is like fully nude. So
and the people aren't like out to bother you or like aggressive or anything. They're super friendly. They're just there doing their thing.
right? They also have volleyball courts and pickleball nets and a running track. There's a skateboard park. You can rent bikes and jet skis or chairs and umbrellas. It's just like a really great, like you can go for the whole day and always find something to do.
And don't forget the food trucks. Like they always have at least one food truck like every day. But then Tuesdays is like food truck day for all evening from like 5 p.m. to like 10 p.m. And it's actually a pretty wide selection of pretty good food trucks.
Right? And that's on the marina side. So there's
Yeah.
the ocean side, and then there's the bay side, which has also a huge park as well. But there's a marina there where you can take out fishing charters or rent boats. It's just definitely a great area to check out if you are into water sports.
Yeah, and if you like snorkeling, this is where I actually recommend going. So Hallover has both on the bay side with you can get to off of Olathe State Park. There's a big sandbar, and then on the ocean side, it actually has like a nice dip that at high tide will get you know maybe 8 feet deep or so, and at low tide it's like 5 feet dip, and then that comes up onto a sandbar. So you wind up getting like all sorts of marine life when it's coming through funneled in there, and you can see like fish and rays and beautiful spotted eagle rays and manatees. We've seen a lot of manatees. All that just snorkeling right there within 100, 150 yards of the coast. And then you can go sit up on the sandbar and relax and let the waves like wash over you on the little sandbar there.
Right. And if you're up this way, we definitely recommend checking out one of our favorite restaurants in the area, which is called Mizumi's.
Mm.
It's a sushi and Japanese buffet, and it's amazing. There's usually about an hour wait no matter what day of the week you go, but it's totally worth it. Or if you're also in that area and you're looking for something that's more of like a laid back kind of vibe, we like Flanagan's, which is like a local sports bar that has a lot of different seafood. And then there's also Duffy's in Sunny Isles Beach, which has a great location that's right on the waterway, and you see all the boats going by and a huge outdoor patio and deck. So that's probably where we would recommend eating if you're up that way. As far as can't miss neighborhoods, one you absolutely need to check out if you're coming to Miami is the Miami Design District.
Yeah, this one's full of also the street art and cool architecture, statues, different things to take like photos with. Very Instagrammy type locations throughout the area. They also have like the Institute of Contemporary Art down there, which you can get free tickets to go into and check out all the displays there.
Right. A lot of people from all over the world come here for the high end shopping. I'm a window shopper because I'm not buying like a $4,000 Chanel bag, but there's tons of great shopping and restaurants to check out while you're there as well. And just a really pretty atmosphere to walk around in.
Yeah, if you like to shop, like every neighborhood's gonna have something for you in Miami.
Right. And speaking of pretty atmospheres, Wynwood is another neighborhood that you definitely need to check out that's super unique to Miami.
Yeah, the Wynwood Walls are like an open air museum, more or less, right? They have artists come, basically put big, huge murals on walls, and some of these are, like the size of a wall that would be in your bedroom, and some of these are like the size of the wall that would be on a warehouse. Like, they're
Right.
really, really cool. They change all the time. Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, so the open air museum is $12 for adults, but also the whole neighborhood has graffiti and street art all over it as well. So even if you don't want to pay to go into the actual Wynwood Walls Museum, just walking around the neighborhood, you're going to see a ton of cool things. So if it's nice out, we just go for a walk around all the blocks surrounding Wynwood, and it's super cool to see all the constantly rotating art. And another place for really great restaurants as well.
And we're talking about restaurants. Little Havana, which is right along 8th Street, or Calle is a great place to go for bars and restaurants, especially Cuban food. It was like the main Cuban neighborhood a long time ago in Miami, and it still has a lot of that, like Versailles, which is probably the most famous Cuban restaurant, and many others. Definitely an area to go check out.
Right. Little Havana in general is known for its colorful streets and Latin culture and just amazing food. And it has a
Uh,
bunch of shopping. Cuban coffee is super popular
yes, don't
there.
forget the cafecito or cortadita or colada. Like, check all three of those out, see which one's for you, and get them.
Yeah, and don't make the mistake of getting like a huge one thinking you need a coffee cup size. It's like the shot of an espresso shot kind of size, but it's super popular thing to just walk up to the little windows and get one to go. Our favorite restaurant in the area is also in Little Havana.
Yes, El Toro Loco.
Yeah, if you're into Brazilian food, this place actually lets you order by the pound. The prices are really affordable and it's delicious. Everything we've ever gotten there has been amazing.
Yeah, I think you can go down to like half pound or quarter pound increments, depending on what cut it is. But you can mix and match. They have pre-matched boards where you get like, 5 or 6 different options. Like, it's just all around a great restaurant, and we've never had any issues with like quality of food or service or anything. It's been great. One of the things you might not think of when you're thinking Brazilian is churros, but the churros at El Toro Loco might be the best churros we've had like anywhere in the world.
Yeah, they have a few different locations too. So maybe just Google it if you're staying elsewhere and just check out if they're available because they're great. And if you're staying a little bit further north and want to branch out a little bit more, check out Los Olas. It's a neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, they have a lot of like European style cafes, pretty vibrant nightlife scene, like a palm lined walkway. It's definitely a neighborhood that's been set up to go shop and eat and walk around in the Fort Lauderdale area.
Right. They have a ton of cute boutiques and art galleries. Our favorite restaurants there are Burger Stop, which is super Instagrammable as well, but
Hmm.
they have delicious food. And then also Chima Steakhouse is really good as well if you're looking for something a little fancier.
And another one with like a really beautiful like walkway and courtyard entrance into.
right? There's also water taxis that are in Los Olas, which is super popular to just hop on and explore like Fort Lauderdale's canals, which is given it the nickname the Venice of America. So check out Los Olas if you're looking for something a little bit further north. Miami also has a ton of nature and gardens that you should check out. First up is the Fairchild Tropical Botanical Garden.
Yeah, it's an 83 acre, like basically lush paradise, showcasing all sorts of rare tropical plants, including their vast collection of like palms. They have tons of butterflies coming around for all the flowers, and pretty much all the kind of stuff that you would see in like your imagination of a perfect tropical rainforest paradise.
And if you're going over the Christmas or holiday season, absolutely check out the night garden there. It's all the magic of the botanical garden, but then they add lights and it's just super beautiful to walk through.
Another thing that you have to check out when you're in the area is the Vizcaya Museums and Gardens. Think like the Biltmore Mansion in the tropics.
Yes, it's set along the Biscayne Bay. It's an Italian Renaissance style villa surrounded by beautiful gardens, ornate fountains, sculptures, and basically offers a glimpse into the early 20th century luxury and architecture of the area.
Yeah, it's a perfect place for like a nice peaceful walk through the history that's inside the house, or the culture and the beauty out in the gardens. So many great spots for photography of different kinds. They have like little coral nooks that they've carved out, all sorts of topiary and bushes and flower beds, and it's just a really cool place to walk around and check out, both inside the house and out in the gardens.
Right. And then I would say the opposite of that is probably Everglades National Park, which you should also check out if you're in the area. The subtropical wilderness in South Florida is home to diverse wildlife such as alligators, manatees, and a variety of bird species.
Yeah, you'll see all sorts of unique ecosystems down the glades, like obviously the wetlands that everybody thinks of. There's also like sawgrass prairies, which are more firm ground. The mangrove forests, and all sorts of opportunities for either hiking around, boating, airboats, and just a huge variety of wildlife.
Right. Speaking of airboats, you absolutely need to take an airboat tour. They're so much fun. We drug every single visitor we had on them at some point so that they could see alligators up close. And again, like you can find a Groupon for about $20, $25, which includes an educational show about the animals they're rehabilitating. And it's just super cool to do the classic Florida airboat ride through the mangroves.
Yeah, and then out on the very like tip towards the Bay of Florida, you might end up even seeing a crocodile if you're real lucky, or manatees, and very rarely on occasion, some flamingos might come through.
Miami is also a surprisingly great destination for families.
Yeah, Zoo Miami is fantastic because I mean it is a tropical location, so all these tropical plants that they do their land sculpture with just grow there naturally, which creates a great setting. And then all the warm weather animals have massive outdoor enclosures that they can just naturally thrive in.
Right? They do a good job of giving the animals a place to like hide if they don't want to interact with people, which makes it seem a lot less cruel when the animals have a huge space and don't have to actually interact with people. But their habitats are beautiful. They've done a really good job of theming, like they have a tiger enclosure that looks like you're in India. Like it's honestly on par with like Disney's Animal Kingdom. It's definitely our favorite zoo. Another thing that's great for families is the Frost Museum of Science. This is downtown, and they have an aquarium and a planetarium inside, as well as normal science exhibits. So that's definitely the top of our list when we have kids coming to visit.
Yeah, they also have the Miami Children's Museum down there, which we got tickets for our niece for that, and she really loved it down there.
Right, it's super cute. They have a bunch of different areas to play in, and like adults can interact too. It's a really cute area. So if you have like kids maybe around the like 4 or 5 year old age, this is totally should be the top of your list.
And Publix is a grocery store that like every Floridian knows. It's the main chain down there. So the Children's Museum has like a little fake Publix in it, completely stocked with like fake vegetables and milk cartons, and they have little counters and deli counters. It was a pretty cool little setup for the
Right.
kids to like pretend to be shopping in a Publix.
Yeah, with checkout registers
Little
and
tiny
stuff.
carts, and it was cool.
And then if you're into sports, downtown also has the Miami Heat game, so you could check out that as well. There's a cool stadium there, which has tickets for pretty reasonable prices. And then also, if you're a little bit further north towards the Fort Lauderdale area, you can check out Flamingo Gardens in Davie, Florida.
Yeah, they have a wildlife sanctuary there, which is home to native plants, exotic animals, includes flamingos, alligators, and panthers. And definitely make sure you check out the otters there. They have really cool otters.
Yeah. And then another one is called Robert is Here. This is a popular roadside fruit stand in Homestead, Florida, known for its fresh tropical fruits, smoothies, and homemade preserves. It's a great stop for visitors seeking local flavors and unique produce, and it's often featuring exotic fruits. So they have a petting zoo as well that you
Yeah.
should definitely check out. So if you're on your way to the Everglades, this is an easy stop that's kind of out of the way of downtown. But if you're heading to the Everglades, don't miss a stop here.
And it may not be like the absolute cheapest fruit you can get in Miami, but like it's fresh, picked maybe that day even. Like it's definitely worth going to, and they're going to have things that you're not going to find elsewhere.
Miami is also a world class destination for shopping. First up, you have Aventura Mall, which is a huge shopping mall with upscale stores as well as everyday normal stores that you would shop at in any mall. But they've got great food there as well.
Sawgrass Mills is another one. It's a little farther inland in Sunrise. Probably one of the largest outlet malls in the country, and have like a wide range of designer brands, dining options, entertainment, all sorts of stuff for you to check out when you're there, like a Gucci outlet, Versace, and you're
Yeah,
going to
that's what
see,
makes it special is that there's super high end outlets that you can't find in other places.
yeah, you're going to see people from all over with like big suitcases and luggage that they're pulling around to buy stuff, pack away, and take home with them.
Right? The deals are that good. And then if you're also into super high end shopping, Ball Harbor Shops in Miami is another famous place to go. It's an upscale open air shopping center featuring like luxury brands. Like there's like a Harry Winston store there, which I've never even seen anywhere else. And then they have fine dining, and it's a sophisticated atmosphere which attracts high end shoppers from all over the world.
Ball Harbor is probably where you're going to find like the extremely wealthy people. For example, Indian Creek is right there beside it, and that's where like Jeff Bezos has his house, and that level of wealth. Like the Harry Winston store, it's not where you just go to buy Harry Winston jewelry. It's where you get him to design one for you, like that kind of shops.
That wraps up our guide on what to see and do on your next trip to Miami.
Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for future travel tips.
Thanks for watching and safe travels.